If you work in finance and you manage more than one bank account, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every month, download the statement, open it, copy the transaction, paste them into your master file, fix the dates because this bank uses a different format, fix the negative because that bank puts a minus sign at the end, and do it all over again for the next bank. It is the same thing every single month. It adds up to hours you're never getting back. So I built this. This is Universal Bank Statement Cleaner, a free Excel template powered by Power Query. What it does is simple. You drop your bank statement files in a folder, you hit refresh, and everything consolidates into one clean output automatically, as you can see on the screen. Any bank, any country, CSV or Excel, it handles all of it. You configure it once per bank, and after that, the only thing you do every month is drop the file and click refresh. This is the whole workflow. Let me walk you through exactly how it works. Once you download this folder from the download link which is available in the description below, you'll see these two files. So you'll be downloading a zip file. You need to unzip it, which is very important. You need to unzip it and put it in a normal folder. And you will see these two files, or one file and a folder inside the main folder. Inside the same main folder, along with the main template file which I showed you just now here, you will also have a source data folder. So these are the bank statements you need to paste in for a particular month. So here you can see I have created a sample data set. One is for the Chase Bank, which is US based bank, HDFC, which is an Indian bank, and SBI, which is an Indian bank. And as I said, it can work with any bank in the world. You just need to configure it properly, which I will show you. And it's very important. So if you're going to start using this particular workflow, it's important that you do this kind of naming of the file. So you start with the name of the bank like this. So I put the first name, or put abbreviated version of your bank. Like for example, HDFC's full name is Housing Development Finance Corporation, and SBI is State Bank of India. But I'm putting SBI HDFC here, Chase. So put any familiar name you know about it, or your colleague in the team or your business knows about it, a generic name like this, and then you put underscore, statement, underscore, and then month. That's it. So every month when you paste, ideally, if you're going to reuse this again and again, what you need to do, you can do a file save as, and copy this name by clicking F2, and then copy it and go to the new file and just paste this name and change the month. That's it. That's the easiest and fastest way to do it. That is one manual step you need to follow. It is very critical because based on this particular naming convention, the entire workflow will work accurately and very smooth. Now let's go back to the file. And the first step you'll see is instruction. This is very important. These are step-by-step instruction, all the gotchas, what could go wrong. So plus we have a detailed blog post in the description of the video where you can go and read about it. But here instructions are more detailed, and it takes care of all your questions and query about setting it up. But I will of course walk you through as I'm doing it right now in this video, so you can follow this video as well. Now another tab which is called file path. This is a very important tab. Here the entire parameter or folder path, which is this. This is the folder path. You can see here, this is the folder path on the screen. So this particular entire folder path will be auto-populated. So currently my current path is in OneDrive, which is not ideal thing. But if you copy this folder in your normal drive, which is not cloud link, it will show correct folder path here, right? So let me do that and I'll show you another version. So here you can see the folder path. If I zoom it a bit, the entire folder path is mapped directly with this formula, and this table is fully automated. Basically it goes through this folder path and try to create a copy of the same with a formula, right? So it's automated. And why it's helpful, I'll tell you in a moment when we go inside the M code. So this is automated. Now let's go to the setup tab, which is very important tab, and here you need to put the bank name exactly as this particular first 4 letters or 3 letters, whatever, before the first underscore. So bank name, abbreviated name or full name, however you want to use with your bank statement files, that is CSV or Excel, the first name, whatever you put before underscore should be copied here. So that is the bank name column you need to fill in, and here date column. So basically you need to open each bank. For example, if I go to this Chase CSV file, so here we need to copy the date column. We need to copy the date column text, exactly the column name here. Then description, so we need to put description, whatever the description column name in your bank statement, CSV or Excel, you need to copy it here. Then type signed. So what does it mean? So for example, in case of Chase bank statement here, there is no debit credit. It's only showing minus and positive. So minus would mean debit and positive would mean credit. So for that we need to put signed. And then debit column name, here we have only one column. There is no debit and credit. So we need to choose by default debit and put the exact name of the column, that is amount. Credit we need to keep blank because there isn't any credit column here in this particular scenario. And here, since it's American bank, the date would be American date, that is MMDDYYY or MMDDYY. So you have to put this particular code. This will be used by Power Query in M code. So you put this particular code, small ENN, then dash US in caps. This is very important. Power Query is case sensitive. So whatever you do, especially with names where Power Query gonna look for them in the lookups, or you could call it when Power Query is gonna do join, it will look for exact case sensitive letters and words. So it's very critical that you do this. And here combination date plus description. This particular column happens where a particular column has a date and description combined. I'll show you the SBI example. So in case of Chase, we have none of such columns, so we need to put no. Now if you go to SDFC, which is an Indian bank statement or Indian bank, so here in this CSV, we have a date column named transaction date, so we will put transaction date in the date column mapping. The description name, column name is narration, which is this narration. And we have debit credit, so whatever the debit credit column is, we need to put it. So here the amount type is debit credit. So here you can see we have two columns. So the particular letter or particular word we need to use is debit credit, and then debit amount column, so that would be this particular value, withdrawal amount debit here, as you can see. Similarly, for credit column name, it would be deposit amount credit, like this. So I'm going to copy exact same text. And for Indian bank statement, we're going to use this code EN-GB, and we don't have combined date and narration or date and description here in this case, so we're going to put no. Now let's go to SBI example. So this is an Excel workbook now, it's not CSV. Last two files I showed you, which is Chase and HDFC, were a CSV file, but this is Excel. So this entire workflow works either way. So in this case, we have reference, narration, amount, balance. Now let's go to our main file and setup tab. So here we have putting SBI, and then that column we need to map is reference number, which is not required. So this column is redundant for us. The issue with this SBI scenario, or it could be any bank in the world where you try to apply this particular workflow or this Power Query setup for cleaning your bank statement data, there could be scenario where date and description are combined like this. And in that case, we're gonna use this particular scenario, combine date and description, yes. And here in the description column, we're gonna again put narration. The Power Query is smart enough, the code I have wrote here is smart enough to differentiate and segregate these two. So here we're gonna put amount type sign. We don't have a debit credit amounts here, two column. It's gonna be sign, as you can see here, just like Chase scenario. And the amount column heading is amount, which is here. And the credit column we're gonna keep blank, and here we're gonna use code date locale EN-GB exactly in this particular format, small ENN followed by dash and GB caps. And here we have the classic case of combined date and description, which is the case here, as you can see in the narration for SBI. And that's it. This is how you set it up. And if you have more questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Once this all set up properly, you need to go to Master Output tab and click Refresh. So you go to Data and refresh all. So once you refresh, you will have this particular table. Let me delete this and refresh, and you get the data. So what basically this shows is combination of all three bank statement in a stack table format with proper dates, description, amount, and also type of amount, which is debit or credit. So this can save you tremendous amount of time each month. So this is a really useful toolkit. If you need to do this every month, this would be the perfect solution. If you face something like check setup, which would come if you refresh this particular table, and if you get an error, a text error called check setup instead of real data like we have currently, which is fine, that means there is something wrong with your setup here. So you need to make sure the spaces, the names, especially here, are correct, and also column names are accurately copied here. Now this table is a clean foundation to build any more analytics, including a pivot table you can build or connect to Power BI, and you can do more enhanced analysis with this kind of clean data. And this can also be useful for your bank reconciliation automation. So there are many benefits of doing this each month. And all you need to do is for each bank, you need to set it up once and only copy the new statements each month and change that particular name, which I showed you, which is here. You follow this practice, just change this particular three letters. You made it July for month of July, JUL, and for August you put AUG, August, right? And if the year changes, of course you need to change these 4 characters, 2026, and you need to make it 2027. So this was my complete walkthrough on how to use universal bank statement cleaner with help of Power Query. I thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my newsletter on FinData Pro, where I'm sharing this kind of useful templates free. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.